So welcome everybody.
Welcome. Recording
let's
already?
Start. Yes.
Okay. So let's start today's session.
Yes. So let's start as usual by paying respect, and then we will start and continue with Paṭicca-samuppada, dependent origination, in a little bit more details today.
Session 75, Abhidhamma Sangha. Very good. Going good. Thank you for the common effort. May this give a lot of fruits. I suppose it is already bringing us. So may these little plants take strong root. Remember all our teachers, and the teachers of our teachers are the teacher of everybody, the Buddha, with respect, appreciation, and gratitude for all that he left for all of us. Homage to the sublime, the victorious one, to the self-enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassam. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassam. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassam. Iti piso bhagava araham sama sambuddho vichacharana sampano sukato lokavidu anutaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanam buddho bhagavati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bien, queridos, queridas, welcome everybody. Everybody ready? Today we will have a journey. Let's gather a little bit of energy and attention. We go slowly, and any question that arises, we will cover it one by one. But today we will see more in details about all the links that we briefly saw last week.
Yes. Okay. So last week we briefly saw the links of the Paṭicca-samuppada, how one is linked to the other in a general sense. How we are in samsara because of what? No, like because one thing linked to the other, because the other linked to the other, and then how we are here. So last week we also mentioned that the Buddha, he actually, before he became the Buddha, he knew about the Paṭicca-samuppada, and he practiced his vipassana on it by contemplating each factors, how they are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. No, and so last week, Luis, he asked the question. He asked, how did the Bodhisattva knew about the Paṭicca-samuppada?
Yes.
So I was thinking maybe we will start
answering that question
about talking about this, here, although he's not here, so maybe he can sit in the video. So the Buddha, actually, before he became the Buddha, he has practiced for 4 Asangaya and 100,000 kappa, no? Since he got the prediction from a previous Buddha that he is going to be a future Buddha. No? So in that time, before, 4 Asangaya 100,000 kappas ago, in the life when he was a Sumedha, his name was Sumedha in that life that he was practicing as an ascetic. At the time, he already had all the wisdom and everything to become an arahant in that very life. So his wisdom is very high, no? But in order to become a self-enlightened Buddha, he needed to practice all his paramis, the 10 perfections, for a longer period of time until he fulfilled all of them to become Sammasambuddho, no? To become a totally self-enlightened Buddha. So during all this time, he has been practicing in all this life, but already his wisdom is very high. So he's always a very wisdom and intellectually oriented person. No, so throughout all this life, he has always been contemplating about samsara, or about life. And when he was contemplating, he always arrived to a very high degree of wisdom, but just one step before Magga and Phala, no? Before Gotarabu and Magga and Phala. He's always almost there, but he don't cross that line because he has to fulfill paramis in order to become the Buddha. Otherwise, he'll become an arahant. No, so therefore he has always been practicing and contemplating and accumulating his panya parami, his wisdom, perfection of wisdom. So when the Buddha, like our teacher Sayadaw Kamsachara, he explained us that when the Buddha, when he contemplates something, he don't stop at that thing. Always the cause of that thing comes to his mind. It arises in his mind. Like for example, when he is thinking, why? Like when he was in the life of Siddhartha, he was a prince, and then he saw the four signs. Remember, he saw an old person, a sick person, and a dead body, and then he knew about and the ascetic, and then he knew about suffering, and then he thought, why do we suffer?
Why do we born? Why do we die?
Suffer?
I mean, he just make that simple but very, very deep question. Why?
Yes. Actually,
why do we have to die?
Yeah. So before that, he thought, why do we suffer? Just because we're born.
Yes.
No, because if we don't born, we don't suffer.
Why did we born, by the way?
Yes,
he made that question. Amazing.
Then if he contemplate on that, because his wisdom is already very high, then he can understand, because we have karma, because we did action. So those actions gives result. That's why we were born.
There is energy there that gives, there are seeds that gives the result. So a very simple but deep questions he made and set out to answer. That's why he left the palace, and you know the story.
So when he contemplate on why did we did actions? Why do we do actions?
Yes, because we do actions and they leave potentiality. Why do we do actions? Then he goes to the next layer.
Because we like the sensations, we like the feelings of how we feel about
something.
Yes, the pleasant and unpleasant sensations.
When we feel pleasant, we want more, and when we feel unpleasant, we want to move away. So we start acting on it.
Why do we feel? Yes. Because we have contact with objects. No? Then why do we have contact with the objects?
Because we have the five senses.
Yes.
Why do we have the five senses?
Contemplating, all these answers came to him, because he's always a very wisdom and intelligent person, wisdom oriented. So when he contemplated, then the whole link, the whole Paṭicca-samuppada, this understanding came to him. But of course, by understanding how we are in samsara, doesn't free us from samsara only. So we still have to practice and to cultivate the wisdom in order to eradicate all kinds of defilements. Because as we see in the Paṭicca-samuppada, what keep us here is avijja and tanha, ignorance and craving.
Desire.
So we understand that if we have not eradicated them totally, we are not free. So we understand how it works, then we have to work to eradicate these defilements in order to be free from these links. So that is how the Buddha understood the Paṭicca-samuppada before he became the Buddha. Yes. Okay. Anyway, now today we will continue with more details about this Paṭicca-samuppada.
Sorry. So the answer to Luis is that he was not on that life, that he knew or he learned from something. He had, we spoke this with Sayadaw, and he had long time contemplating, and he knew very clearly about all this because of this kind of scientific reasoning. This suffering exists, why? And then this, why this? Then why this one? He knew very well. So when it was not new for him that night that he got enlightened, he had the presence, but the last detachment and understanding happened on that night, precisely contemplating on the things that he had discovered or knew very familiar since before. So that answers the question of Luis.
Yes, and also Sayadaw Kamsachara, he also told us another point that for a person, for a normal person, that when we practice vipassana, we take nama and rupa as meditation object. So we contemplate how it is anicca, how it is dukkha, and how it is anatta. For a person who has a let's say normal level of wisdom, but because the Buddha, his wisdom is very, very high. So his object of contemplation is also something that is very deep.
Yes,
for his wisdom. So he does not contemplate just any simple thing. He contemplates on very deep thing. So that's why the Paṭicca-samuppada is the subject of meditation, vipassana meditation for the Buddha.
Yeah, like any of us, whatever level of intellectual ability we have, we generally search for books and content that matches that. Generally, when we are in the kusala side, because when we are in the akusala, we get happy with very low quality content. I can tell you. we are entertained by something. But in the wholesome side of our mind, yes, our tendency, intellectual tendency, generally search for something that feels satisfying to explore. The same way the Buddha.
Yes, okay.
Everybody okay? Ready to start with the exploration, a little bit more detail. We breathe in, bring a little bit. I know it's for you, it's a little bit longer day. For us, it's starting, but let's gather some attention, and here we go. Don't worry, slowly, slowly we go. Any question, write it down, and then we explore at the end. Yes.
Okay, so last time, so we saw the general view of the Paṭicca-samuppada, cause and effect, and could the effect become a cause, then effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. So the Paṭicca-samuppada itself, dependent origination, is a very important teachings on the cause and effect, how the Buddha explained. But whenever we talk about cause and effect, we always have to remember, then in the Buddha's teaching, we always talk about causes and effects. Actually. So there are many causes and many effects. Like we saw last time briefly, even in nature, we need many causes and conditions for many effects to arise. So in the Buddha's teaching, one cause for many effects, or one cause for one effect, or many causes for one effect is not being accepted. So only many causes and many effects are being accepted in the teachings of the Buddha.
And just as a reminder, there are some causes which are generating causes, and there are some other causes which are supportive, and they are also included. As we see in the plant, the seed is the main, and the sun, the water, and the quality of the soil will be the supporting cause for the final fruit that we will get. Yes.
Yes, even the fruit is not just a fruit itself. No, there are many things there. So causes, conditions, there are many of them, and the effects are also many. So here we mentioned this point because when we see in the Paṭicca-samuppada, we see that one thing linked to the other, one thing linked to the other, one thing linked to the other. But we have to understand that here only the leading cause or the main cause or main condition is being named here. So we need to understand that avijja is not the only condition for sankhara to arise.
But the main.
There are more causes, more conditions. But avijja is the most important and is the leading cause, therefore it is named here. So there is a very interesting
nice
example which Bajor Sealogy he used this example. He said even in daily life, in human language, we do it in this way.
We do the same in daily life. Yeah.
For example, if someone asks you, what did you have breakfast? Then we may say, this morning I have bread and coffee. But then it's not only bread and coffee that we had. We also have the eggs. We also have the sausage. We also have the tomato. We also have the salad. We have jam and we have the juice. But we don't say everything. So when someone asks you, what did you have breakfast? You don't say, I have croissant and bread and
grapes and salad and this and that and this and that.
We only say we have bread and coffee.
Yes.
So in the same way, so when it is mentioned, then we understand that only the main thing is said. No, but all the other things we need to understand that although it is not mentioned, it is there, like our breakfast.
In the same way for each of the links, it will be the main one that is explored.
Yes.
Yeah. One right now. Sorry, just as a comment, that I remember when you were saying the many causes for something to arise. It just came to mind one phrase by Carl Sagan, which is really amazing. He said, "If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe." If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. Yes, we can have this breakfast because starting with, there is a universe rolling on. There is a galaxy, there is a planet. So you can see the amount of causes that are backing up our very existence. So very, very deep. If you really wish to make an apple pie from scratch, if we really want to understand ultimate reality, we must first invent the universe or understand the universe. Yes, very, very deep connections. And let's see how much we understand on our wherever we are now.
Okay, so In this case, today we are going to go into each link with a little bit more details, not too much details because it is very deep. We can really go into a lot of details, but we'll just go into a little bit more details of each one of them.
Easily, my dear family, a person could get a PhD degree only on Paṭicca-samuppada. Only on this will be more than enough. And I don't think he will finish in one. It's really, let's go.
So the first link, avijja paccaya sankhara, because there is ignorance as condition, karma formation arises. This is the first link, no? So now let's take a look at this avijja. What does it mean by avijja here? So avijja paccaya sankhara sambhavanti. Because there is ignorance as condition, karma formation arises. So this karma formations, yes, plural. Karma formations arise. Okay. So this avijja, as we have already learned in the Abhidhamma avijja is a synonym of moha. No, it's actually moha cetasika, ignorance. Moha cetasika that is associated with the 12 agusala chitta. Moha is always associated with the 12 agusala chitta. So this is one of the definition of this avijja of moha, no? Moha cetasika.
Reminding you, vijja means wisdom. Avijja is the negation of wisdom. Actually saying non-wisdom, it is the source of our multiple actions. Mental, physical, and verbal. We are moving forward there.
So moha is one of the definitions of this avijja, and this avijja has a wider meaning. Also, the not knowing of the Four Noble Truths.
Not knowing of what? Ignorance of what? Yes.
The not knowing of the Four Noble Truths is avijja. Is also meant by avijja here, as well as the not knowing of the aggregates. No, and not just only the aggregates, but the aggregates of the past, the aggregate of the future, and aggregate of both the past and the future. How is that so? So when we don't understand how we come to be, like how this body and mind is actually made of the five, we are actually, what we call I is made of the five aggregates.
Yes, no? The five aggregates is us, actually, is to say me, to say mind and matter. And then when we subdivide, you remember 4 for mind and 1 for matter. So it is actually saying, I don't know who, what I was before, what I will be in the future, how this came to be. So if we don't understand why we are here, we will just continue rolling ignorantly in it. And then, yeah.
So we don't understand how we came to be, and then we think like, was I in the past? Like, or was I not in the past? Or how was I in the past? What was I in the past? Why am I here? And what did I do in the past to become here? And what do I do now? Will I be in the future?
Will I be in the future?
Is it going to continue? So all this kind of not understanding of how the five aggregate works because of karma. No, we have the five aggregates and we did karma, and then we are reborn here because of not understanding of this. So not understanding of five aggregates in the past, that means not understanding five aggregates in the present and not understanding the five aggregates in the future. No?
The karma, the actions bring the five aggregates to be, and these five aggregates right now are making more karma. So it's the seed and the fruit, the seed and the fruit, the seed and the fruit, the seed and the fruit.
Yes, and if we go a little bit deeper, we can also understand in a way of different kinds of wrong views. No, for example, if we think that there is no past, I just suddenly exist in this life, there is no past at all, no five aggregates in the past. I just appeared here. Then we have the different kinds of wrong views about how reality is. Or we think that there is no more future. When this one is finished, it's gone. Then the annihilation, then all wrong views also we can understand by this. So this is also part of the avijja of not understanding the aggregates. In other words, we can say not understanding the existence, not understanding existence.
Yes, why we are here. Yeah.
So this is
the old age question.
Also avijja, and also it is mentioned in the text that not understanding the dependent origination is also called avijja here.
Yes.
So avijja, in short, is moha cetasika associated with the 12 agusala chittas, as well as the not understanding of the Four Noble Truths, not understanding the existence, and not understanding dependent origination.
Paṭicca-samuppada. This is what we are studying. So at least with these sessions, we will get theoretically closer to understanding it. Certainly, we will have some degree of satisfactory understanding about how it works.
So because we do not understand reality as it is, we don't know. So therefore, we continue doing all kinds of actions, good actions and bad actions. So
blindly most of the time.
So how is that so? As long as there are still craving and ignorance, we will always be doing something that will give result in the future. Because you remember when a person becomes totally enlightened, he uproot all kinds of defilements. So there is no more craving, no more dosa, and no more ignorance also. No, so by that time he don't plant it anymore. All his actions is kriya, kriya chittas arise in his mind when he perform whatever kind of actions. But since we are not rid of ignorance and craving, so we always do the kinds of actions that keep us around. So what is that? Kusala and akusala. Because even we do kusala, it still gives result. Akusala, of course, it still keep result. So we are still turning around.
So here becomes really interesting, because generally we are thinking, I shouldn't do bad, I shouldn't do bad. But just remember that even doing good will give good results. We will continue to be rolling. So we heard this concept for the first time from a teacher in a monastery in the center of Burma. We were both really shocked when he said, oh, I wish to stop doing even good. And we look at him like we first time heard it. What are you talking about? And then he pointed us, yes, actually, even doing good, continue planting seeds. We have a better rebirth. We have better conditions, but we are not out of samsara. Remember, we can even reborn as a deva or as a brahma, but they are still rolling in. So this has deeper implications. It is not bad to do good. It's the best we can do as we are humans. But remember that the liberation of all of it, the wisdom that can liberate us is even higher. Nibbana is much higher than goodness. Nibbana is way, way higher than kusala. Are we clear here? Is everybody fine here?
Yes. So, but anyway, don't mistaken then doing good is
not good.
Yes,
it's the best we can do as we are here.
Anyway, because it is not possible for us now to not do anything. No, it is not possible for us to stop planting seeds because we are not there yet. So by planting good seeds, good result will arise, which is very good conditions for us to practice to gain enough wisdom to be free from samsara finally. No, so good conditions are very important. So Sayadaw said, as long as we are not totally enlightened yet, we need to do a lot of good to have good conditions for practice. Otherwise, it will be very difficult.
Yeah, let's not underestimate kusala, because it's through kusala that we arrive to nibbana. Actually, it's very important, way, way higher than akusala, certainly, and necessary for our mind to be cultivated, being at peace and stable in order to gain the highest wisdom. So it is the way. In this, it's really like the saying said, the destination is not the path, but yes, we need a path to arrive to such destination. Yes.
Okay, so actually, but without changing the images, we have already said everything mostly. But anyway, that we will still just go through the next ones. Now, we understand that for akusala chitta, because we said, because there is still ignorance and craving, then we keep doing akusala and kusala, no? So we understand that because of ignorance, we do akusala. Of course, that's easy to understand. Unwholesome actions is because of ignorance.
We don't know what harm bring us and others, our bad actions. So we easily, unfortunately, we easily do them because we don't know the results of them.
Then how about kusala then? When we do wholesome actions, then how is it based on ignorance? No, even because if it is good, then it should not be because of ignorance, because also sometimes it's because of wisdom that we do good, no? So we have to understand that here in this link, ignorance is actually a supportive cause. is an indirect cause. It's not directly because of ignorance we do good, not directly. It's because we still have ignorance, we're still rolling on the samsara, then we still doing things. No? So this ignorance and craving is actually supportive cause here, not direct cause. Is that clear? Is it okay? Yes, we can understand.
It's just the thing that continue giving momentum to the process. It continue pushing us to do something, to search. Our desire make us search for something different than what it is. And then it is pushing, giving force, but it's not the cause that generated the process.
Sometimes we do good thinking that by doing good, by doing wholesome actions, we will have wholesome results. No, that we'll have a better life, we'll live better, we will everything will be good, and even we can cultivate wisdom, whatever. But by doing wholesome actions, wholesome results will arise. And these wholesome results, living a better life, happiness is actually not the end, because it is not forever. It arises and then it still passes away. So all this, even it is good, it is not free from dukkha, because we are still born. There is old age, there is sickness, and then we will die. Even if we practice meditation and then we attain the arupa jhana, the highest arupa jhana, and next life become a Brahma in the highest realm, still that Brahma is going to die. He's still
sooner or later
from samsara, although his life is very long, but that's not forever. So still we are rolling on in samsara. So therefore, why? Because we are still here, because we are not rid of ignorance yet.
Of the
we
source
didn't get rid of the craving and of ignorance. So therefore, this craving and ignorance is an indirect cause for us to continue doing whatever kind of actions. Is that clear?
Yes.
Even good actions.
Even a wise person, even a loving person, and wholesome, very, very generous person, sooner or later will need to say goodbye to his family and things, and get old and have the suffering of sickness, naturally, old age, and then eventually die again and again and again. So it is not doing good, as we see, is not a guarantee for freedom. It makes conditions better, and that's the best we can do, certainly for us and for others. But it is the way to freedom, but not the freedom itself.
Yes. So the main point here is that because we don't understand reality as it is, so we keep doing sankhara here. We will now go into the definition. We keep planting seeds. Yes. So whether it is good seeds or bad seeds, as long as we are not rid of avijja, then we will still continue doing things. Yes, even good thing or bad thing. So if bad things are kusala, then we can understand directly is the direct cause, no? Because of ignorance, we do bad. But if because of ignorance, how we do good is because we still have the potential. We still are not rid of avijja. So as a supportive cause, we are still alive here, not enlightened. Therefore, we do good also, no? Now, is it more clear? So we do different kinds of actions because ignorance are still there, no? So I think until here it's okay. So here now we have to understand. Now, so we understand what is avijja, the not understanding of the Four Noble Truths, etc., as we have just said, and moha. And the sankhara here, now we go into a little bit more details of what means by sankhara. Sankhara can be divided in the different classification, but basically they're talking about the same thing. As we have already seen previously, we can divide actions into kaya sankhara, vaji sankhara, and mano sankhara. So bodily actions, good and bad, verbal actions, good and bad, and mano sankhara, mental actions, wholesome and unwholesome. No, so three types. Now, so okay, so this sankhara here, we can say that it is kaya sankhara means all kinds of kusala and akusala done through the body door. Or vaji sankhara here, we can understand it is all kinds of kusala and akusala done through the verbal door. And mano sankhara, all kinds of kusala and akusala, even jhanas, no? Because jhanas only mind door. We cannot attain jhana by talking or by moving, no? So only mind. So all kinds of akusala and kusala and all jhanas through the mind door. Yes, okay. So all these kind of actions is what is called sankhara here. And there can also be another classification, which basically is the same thing in a different way. We can separate them into punya sankhara. Punya means good merits. So
Wholesome.
meritorious actions, no? So all kinds of karma kusala, or all kinds of kusala in sense realm, plus the 5 rupa vachara jhana. Here is called punyabi sankhara. Then we have another division, which is all kinds of apunyabi sankhara. Punya merits, no? So demerits, not meritorious actions. No? So all kinds of akusala. So we have here all kinds of sense kusala and 5 rupa vachara jhana, and all kinds of akusala. And another division is called anenjabi sankhara, meaning the 4 arupa vachara jhanas.
Even meditating into the highest possibilities, we are still planting seeds with those good actions.
So here, all kinds of actions are included in this classification. Just the division is a little bit different. Here is divided into wholesome, unwholesome, and the highest arupa vachara jhanas, not the 4 jhanas.
Meditative states.
And here, it is actually the same, also all included, but divided into body, verbal, and mental. Only this way. So we can understand sankhara in these 2 ways.
So this is the very thing, these are the very actions that desire and ignorance impulses to do. Avijja-paccaya sankhara, because of the ignorance as conditioning, karma formations or these actions that we saw, wholesome and unwholesome, meditative states and done by the body, mind, and speech, this because of that. Yes, we continue planting seeds. We know it generates karma. Eventually, we'll give some other fruits.
Yes, so ignorance is a leading condition for all these actions to arise. So basically, we can understand because there is still ignorance, we are still rolling on samsara. We're still alive. If we're still alive, we would do all whatever kind of actions, good and bad. Yes, in
planting seeds,
words,
getting fruits. Yes.
Okay. So until here, everything okay?
Everybody okay?
Yes.
Everybody okay? Welcome, Don Diegas. Abrazos. Hermanito.
Okay, so now let's go to the next link. Then we have sankhara paccaya vijnana, no? Vijnana. Because there is karma as conditioned, karma meaning planting seeds, as we know, all kinds of actions we just saw right now, then consciousness arise.
What? What? Yeah, go on, just making.
Okay, so because we plant seeds, then results are bound to arise.
Yes.
So here in this link, we have to divide it into 2 time period. In Paṭicca time,
in rebirth or relinquishing consciousness.
In rebirth time,
when we born,
because of past karma, then Paṭicca-citta arise. Then rebirth consciousness arise as a result, no? As a result of what we have done in
because there were seeds, the fruit came. Because there was energy planted before with our previous actions, we reborn again. The consciousness arises in another womb. There was energy already, good and bad. It comes together with the right conditions, and we born again. Let's remember that for Buddhists, borning means the moment the sperm and the egg, little egg from our mom gets together. Actually, in Buddhist countries, the birthday counts 9 months before the day they came out of the womb. So just as a cultural way.
So for human being like that, no,
yes.
For Devas, sometimes they are spontaneous born and all kinds of egg borns, and we remember that we saw already previously, no, different kinds of birth. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Paṭicca time, because of past karma, then the result happens in Paṭicca time, in rebirth moment, as well as during lifetime. Yes, so during lifetime, the vipaka chittas also arise due to past karma, no? So therefore, we have, as previously in chapter 1, we have seen, we have ahetuka kusala vipaka, ahetuka, of course, always ahetuka, akusala vipaka also, no? We have the wholesome, rootless wholesome result, and we have rootless, unwholesome result, and then we have also the result of kusala. With roots, kusa with roots, and then these two vipaka. Actually, these two should be in Paṭicca time. But anyway, it's also there. So Pawati time also there are consciousness that arises, no, because of due to past karma.
So in short, because of our previous actions, we born in this life this time. It's certain we born this time, and because of also our past actions, we see what we see, we smell what we smell, we hear what we hear, we taste what we taste, and we touch what we touch with the body. Kusala vipaka or akusala vipaka. Two moments. Actually, it's the same process, but it is different because the first one is to generate a life, and the other one is to sustain the life. We continue in Pawati time around life. You remember? So the Buddha specified because it does have different implications, but actually it's the same functioning. There is energy to generate, something is generated. There is action stored, the fruit comes up. Yes. Everybody clear until here?
Yes.
I think so. It's
So simple in general terms, because we do karma, then vipaka chitta rise. Because there is karma, then there is vipaka.
In both moments, birth and during
Paṭicca
and
Pawati during life. Okay. So now let's go to the next link. Vijnana paccaya nama rupa. Because there is consciousness, since consciousness already arises as a condition, so Cetasika and Rupa, Metta, will arise.
Yes.
Because they arise together, no? Okay, so in this link, we have to pay a little bit attention and just listen. If it gets a little bit complex, never mind, just listen. Then it is just all kinds of possibilities, not all kinds, I would just say a few possibilities of how we can understand this link. It can get a little bit complex, but just listen as information.
Just information.
Yeah,
later on we will go into one ding ding ding.
Yes. Okay, so now, Vijnana paccaya nama rupa. So here, since Vijnana is taken as chitta already, here this nama, we only take it as cetasikas. This nama means cetasika.
You remember chitta and cetasika always together because we have the plate. There must be some ingredients inside. So that's why, because already Vijnana arose when we birth, when we born in this life, the mental ingredients will be, we are certain they are there. Yes.
Although they arise together, in this case, this Vijnana, this chitta and cetasika, they arise together. They are, Vijnana is the condition for this cetasika to arise.
It's the chief,
in a way,
let's say.
Yes. So they condition each other. So in another link we will also see, but then we can understand here nama, we only take cetasika. We don't take chitta anymore.
And as you remember in chapter 6, we saw that there is matter that borns because of the mind. So chittaja rupa, mind born matter. We have already a mind, then the matter naturally arises. So we can take that as the rupa side, the matter that is there.
As well as kamaja rupa, depending on the time.
On the moment.
Depending on the time. So let's say, now if we take this Vijnana to be Paṭisandhi-citta, as we said, because we do karma, then rebirth consciousness arises, because the result there is result. So if we take this paccaya, in this case, the condition to be Paṭisandhi-citta, then these cetasikas will be those cetasikas that accompany the Paṭisandhi-citta, and here it will be kamaja rupa. Because in the first moment, as we, if you remember in the previous chapter, we have seen that in Paṭisandhi moment, 3 types of rupa, kamaja rupa, arise together, The decade of the kaya, of the body, and then of the watu, of the base, metta, and also the bhava, of the gender. Also, they arise together at that moment. So this here we are talking about this kind of kamaja rupa in Paṭisandhi moment. So they, because there is a rebirth consciousness as condition, so this nama and rupa arise together.
In short, because we born, we get a mind and a body. That's it. Something that borns has a body and a mind. Yes, actually, I think we still carry it. It's still developing and moving. Yes, it's a fact. When whatever being born, generally, it has a body and the mind working together.
Yes, just perfectly what Bante is saying right now. We have mind and matter. Then generally have mind and matter. But how about the arupa beings?
There are some other kinds of things.
Arupa beings, for the beings who have no body, then in this case, it will only be vijnana paccaya nama only. So we have to understand it in this way that in the Paṭicca-samuppada, because it covers all kinds of beings, no? Anything that is alive beings,
in the universe.
It is covered by the Paṭicca-samuppada. So in different lanes, we have to sometimes be a little bit careful to see in which moment for which types of beings. No, for example, here. Sorry, you want to say
for
something?
Humans and animals, definitely we have mind and body. But Brahmas, as we know, they only have mind. So then the Rupa side, that does not get developed because of their quality of being. Yes.
Yes, so here for arupa being, we have to understand because there is consciousness as condition, cetasika arise. Yes, only nama, vijnana paccaya nama. And how about another type?
You remember another type of being that we have special kind of being?
The asanya-sata, no? Remember the beings that have no mind and only have rupa.
They only born with body.
Those beings that they attain the fifth jhana, and because they have this idea of that all troubles or all problems comes from the mind. So if there is no mind, there is no problem.
How wonderful it will be not to have a mind.
Yes, so then that because of the jhana power of their mind so powerful, then the next life they are reborn as a Brahma being with no mind, only with rupa, no, only with the rupa.
When we have a powerful mind, we need to be careful what we wish. That's the la moraleja. La moraleja de esto, it's be careful what you wish when you have a powerful mind. So in this case, that mind despises that being despises the mind, and then it generates not with dosa, but it's just feel it's troublesome. It will be better then because the power of his mind gets alive, which is just matter for very long, but eventually that person dies from that, like that being dies from that and reconnects with the mind that was somehow paused. Yes.
Yes, so pause meaning that during that period
there was
life,
no action,
no arising of mind. Then after his life is finished, then mind arise again, no?
Yes.
So in another life. So the third life, let's say, in this life, the person meditated, he has mind and he has body. Then because of his jhana power, then he died and then he was reborn into an asanya-sata being. In that being, no mind arises, only rupa arises. And in the third life, mind arises again. Anyway, that we're not talking about that.
We are looking at options.
We are just seeing that in this case, for asanya-sata, only vijnana paccaya rupa. We can also understand
the chanting of Brahmas will be a little bit different, a little bit weird. Vijnana paccaya rupa. What? But yes, for us humans, vijnana paccaya nama rupa. Yes.
So for here all we are. Other five aggregate beings, for all other beings that have both mind and matter,
the four lower realms, humans, devas, and Brahma, and some of the fine material ones. Yeah.
Vijnana paccaya nama rupa in this case. So here we can understand that vijnana paccaya nama rupa, in this link we can understand vijnana paccaya nama, vijnana paccaya rupa, or vijnana paccaya nama and rupa, depending on the time and also depending on what kind of beings, no, in different realms. Okay, so now
clear until here. Everybody clear, no? Yeah, good. We are going, we are moving. You see, we are moving detail by detail. Sooner or later we will make this puzzle all together. We will see the picture. Good.
Okay, so vijnana paccaya nama rupa. Let's take a little bit more details on this link. Just listen and don't worry about it. So vijnana paccaya nama rupa. So because there is consciousness, then also other vipaka-citta also during lifetime will arise, and also it conditions nama rupa. So not only patisandhi time, but also during lifetime also when this vipaka-citta arise, cetasika also arise. There are some other kinds of rupa also arise. Okay, now vijnana paccaya nama rupa, in this link, we can also understand vijnana in another way. Vijnana previously is only taken to be the vipaka-citta, no? Because when we do karma, we go one link ahead, no? Sankhara paccaya vijnana, no? So because we do actions, then there are results. vijnana, no? This mind arises.
Right.
So mind result here, we take vipaka chitta because it's the resultant chitta of those actions, no? So we take result. But also in another understanding, we can also take vijnana here to be kusala, lokiya kusala chitta and akusala chitta in this case. So we are talking about different understanding, how we can understand it in different ways, no? So how is it that lokiya, kusala chitta and akusala chitta, here it's called abhisankara vijnana. So this vijnana, now we make the definition of this vijnana to be lokiya kusala chitta and akusala chitta. So because of kusala and akusala actions,
because there are good and bad actions.
Yes, so which is karma. So when the result arise in this lifetime, then this kamaja rupa, because we did good and we did bad in previous time, in the past. So at this moment, this chitta and chittasika, vipaka, and also the kamaja rupa continue to arise throughout our lifetime because of past good and bad action.
If we did good actions, we have a body with health. If we did bad actions, we have a physical that is a body that is weak or easy to get sick or something like that. Yes. So it is talking about now, not just on the vijnana, but in the previous actions. Two aspects, previous vijnanas, kusala and akusala, gives this result in this life. Nothing is causal, nothing is because of a random happening. Everything that happens in nature has a cause. Whatever we experience, good or bad, is based on these two kinds of actions, wholesome or unwholesome actions.
Yes. So in general, it's not difficult to understand, but because Paṭicca-samuppada, it is quite deep. So sometimes we can go into some details, but it is not really necessary that we go into all kinds of details. In the next link, actually, I will show you just a few examples of how it can get into different details, but we only need to understand in general how it is linked to each other. That's good enough. Yes, for the moment. Yes. Because if we want to understand everything, then we need a whole course of just Paṭicca-samuppada, and we need more other information as well. So why don't we take a break for a few minutes and also take a rest and refresh the mind, and then we will come back for the next link, which is
Nama-rupa-paccaya-salayatana. Next one.
The 6 senses.
Okay, my dear ones, 4 minutes. We join again. Thank you very much.
See you.
Good, going good. Yes.
Okay.
Please understand, from our side, we are trying to make it as pedagogic as possible. So we know it has some details, and when we say that don't worry, just listen, we are actually saying the same thing that our teacher told us. It's quite good to open the mind and just receive information. It will sink in, and it will continue sinking in for some more time. So everybody okay? What were you saying?
Yes, so the next link that we are going is Nama-rupa-paccaya-salayatana. Only in this one, there is a little bit more details. And after that, then it is quite easy. Yes, quite straightforward. Okay, so let's go to Nama-rupa-paccaya-salayatana. Here, because there is mind and matter as condition, then 6 bases, all the 6 bases arise. So here we will first see Salayatanam, the 6 bases that we saw already in chapter 7. What does that mean? No? The ayatanas, remember in chapter 7, we see the bases. So these 5 are actually pasada rupa. No, eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, and body sensitivity. This is rupa. No? So because there is mind and matter as a condition, then also these this pasada rupa, they arise. And mind here, manayatana, as we saw in chapter 7, there it means all kinds of chittas, no? But in the Sutanta method, or in this Paṭicca-samuppada, we can also take only the 32 vipaka chittas when we are talking about the effects. Because when we talk about their causes, then the effects will be the resultant. Also, therefore, sometimes we take only the resultant chittas here. So if we want to be more general and include everything, sometimes we can take all chittas, or we can take only resultant chittas. Okay. Yes.
So in short, my dear family, because we have a mind and a body, because we have a body, the senses develop. Remember the baby? Because the baby born at the beginning is just a bunch of cells with no recognition from one another. And then later on, the different group of cells becomes his eyes or her eyes, her ears, her nose and tongue, and like this. It's just talking about us. Because we have a body, we develop senses.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so as we have seen in the previous link, nama, rupa, sometimes we can take only nama, sometimes we can take only rupa, and sometimes we can take nama and rupa, no, depending on what beings. So if it is, let's say, arupa being, then only this nama is only cetasika, no rupa there. And since there's no rupa, this pasada rupa, we can also forget about it because they don't have. So we only take the sixth base in this case, only the mind, no? Only the link is only cetasika to mind for the arupa beings, no, in this way. So what we need to understand is only that sometimes we don't have to take everything to be the condition of everything. We can
depending
take part
on the
of,
case.
yeah, depending on the case, and then we can also see divide them into a little bit more detail, like parts. So we can see how cetasika conditioned Chakku-pasada, how we conditioned the Sota-pasada. And so, I mean, only thing we need to know is we can take it part by part differently.
Good.
Okay. So in this case, as Bhante said, that we focus on human beings. So for human being is nama and rupa, paṭicca-samuppāda, because we have everything. Mind and matter, both are included. So in a simple way, if we take the nama and rupa here, nama as the 52 cetasikas, and the rupa, usually in this case, then what we take is the 4 primaries, the 4 mahabhutas, and the 6 vatu rupa, the 6 base matter, and jivita and ahara. This is how we usually take in this link as nama and rupa.
The life energy and nutriment, yes.
That comes together in the kama and the kamaja rupa, no? In the kama born matter. Okay, so if we take it this way, then the nama rupa paccaya salayatana in nama and rupa side, it will be cetasika and this kind of rupas, and the salayatana will be the 5 senses, 5 sensitivity, and the mind itself, no? So just as an example, how we can take it in different moment, different types of conditions. In this case, let's say, taking as an example, pasada rupa only. No, in the condition side, let's take only the body base. So in this case, if we take body base, so here it is cetasika associated with the rebirth consciousness, and pasada rupa, they bond together, no, in the rebirth moment. They arise together, no, and also so this is how this cetasika is conditioned for this kaya pasada to arise. And if we take the rupa side here, then this rupa, we will take the 4 primaries, because all the primaries, all the 4 mahabhutas support other kinds of rupa to arise, remember? And also jivita, also it supports this to arise, and ahara also supports it to arise. And here we don't take other rupa anymore, because eye sensitivity in no ways condition the body sensitivity. So those rupas are not included. So like this, so we can take part by part just as an example. And another example, if we take mind, the mind base, how is it being conditioned? Then in Patisandhi moment, the cetasika associated with the Patisandhi chitta conditioned the Patisandhi chitta to arise, because they arise together, no? They are always together, so they affect each other. And as well as in the case of rupa, the hadaya watu is the base for chitta to arise. So in this case, this nama and rupa, we take these 2 for Patisandhi chitta, which is the mind base to arise, no? So basically, that was just 2 examples of how we can take them part by part to understand case by case. But here we are not going into details anymore, and we are not going into each of them, how they are, otherwise it would take very long. But so we just need to understand, as Bhante said, very generally, mind and matter. Because we have mind and matter, then we have the 6 senses.
Yes.
In general.
as human beings.
Now let's go to the next link. Next link is more obvious and easy. So salayatana paccaya phaso. Because there are 6 bases as conditioned, then contact arise. Now we have eye, we see, we have ear, we listen, and this is easy to understand. So salayatana, this ayatana, there are internal bases and there are external bases. External bases meaning the objects, no? And so both of them are important for contact to arise, because we need the eye and we also need outside objects. But here in this link, we will mostly focus on internal base, which are the 6 senses that we have, no?
Our ability to listen, our ability to see, smell, taste, and feel sensations in the body, and think, that were developed because we have a body and a mind, that because of that, we can have contact with the external bases, which is color, shape, and form, sound, smell, taste, tangibilities, hardness, softness, heat and cold, and thoughts or ideas that we get. Because we have bases, we have contact with the world, with the 6 objects.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So here we will combine.
Sorry, first we must have born, then healthily develop the 5 senses. Then after the senses are working, even from inside the womb, the baby starts listening and starts seeing something. I mean, maybe black only, but the consciousness starts already arising. Since the baby, when it borns, 9 months later, his senses or her senses are working already. I mean, he or she might not open the eyes yet, but as soon as he or she opens the eyes, she can see something. So it is working even from the womb. Because of those senses, we have contact with the world. Yeah.
Okay, so here we'll combine also the next link in order to have a more full view, a more general view. So salayatana paccaya phaso, because there is 6 bases as condition, contact arise, and phasa paccaya vedana, because there is contact as conditioned, then mental feeling arise.
We feel something with what we see. We see something pleasant or unpleasant, and the mind feels pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. We hear something pleasant or unpleasant, and then the mind feels something, develops a Vedana. We have the body, we have the senses, we have contact, and because of the contact, mental sensation arises, be it pleasant mental sensation, neutral pleasant mental sensation, or hurtful or unpleasant mental sensation.
Okay, so thank you, Bante, for general explanation. So we will go into a little bit details here. Okay, so salayatana paccaya phaso. So because we have the eye base, chakayatana here, no, this ayatana, we take it, let's say, as eye base. Then there is also visible object. So when this comes together, what happened? Then eye consciousness arise together with phasa, no? Phasa, we know, is a cetasika that arise together with chakku viññāna, together with the eye consciousness.
The ability of the mind or to contact a visual object through the eyes. Bing! The eye gets in contact with the object, the mind knows the object. Ding, ding.
Yes, so with the eye base and with a visible object, then eye consciousness arise together with phasa. Phasa with phasa,
yes,
cetasika arise together with the eye consciousness at that moment. So this is called the coming together of these 3 is called phasa actually. Coming together of the eye base, visible object, and the eye consciousness is called phasa. So here, phasa, the definition of phasa here in this case is the phasa concomitant with the 2 chakku viññāna chittas. Remember, there are 2 chakku viññāna, no? Kusala vipaka, when we see something nice, and akusala vipaka, when we see something not so nice.
Not so pleasant.
Yes. So 2 chakku viññāna. So what happened when we see something besides phasa? Also, Vedana also arise together in that moment.
Yes,
in the same chitta.
Vedana, as you remember, it's a universal cetasika. So it's automatic, like there is contact and consciousness arose. There is a sensation in the mind, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Yes.
It experienced the object. So in this case, precisely what kind of Vedana arise? Only upeka, no? Yes. Yeah, because the chakku viññāna, the dvi pancha viññāna, the 5 senses, they all always arise with upekkha
in
feeling.
the vipaka.
Remember, even it is a pleasant object or unpleasant object, desirable or undesirable object, it always arises with upekkha vedana. So in this case, this vedana here, we have to understand it to be called Paṭicca-samuppada vedana. Chakku, eye, samphasa actually means phasa is the same. So contact, eye contact, feeling. So vedana, the experience or mental feeling born of eye contact.
This last part of the samphasa comes from jati, from borning. So it is a mental sensation that arises or borns because of the contact of the eye. I will say it again. It is a kind of it's a mental sensation that arises, borns because our eye had contact with the world. We have senses. There is a visual object. We have contact. Consciousness arises because of this functioning, and Vedana is already there.
Yes. So although you see that Chakku Vijnana, eye consciousness, and phasa and Vedana, actually they all arise together at the same time, because in the same citta there is phasa, there is Vedana. Yes. So they arise together, but one condition another. Yes. So because of there is eye base, so eye base conditioned for phasa to arise, then phasa, which arises together with the Vedana, is the main condition for Vedana to arise. Because there is contact, there is a feeling, but in this case we have to understand, although they arise together, they condition one another. So it is not like the condition is not one arise, because of this, then another one arise after.
They happen at the same time.
They happen at the same time.
Think of a tripod. The tripod is standing because each of the legs are standing.
Support each other.
They support one another. If you take one of the legs of the tripod, the whole tripod falls down. It needs the three legs to be standing. Individually, each leg is standing, and because of their standingness, it makes the other two stand, so the whole tripod is up.
At the same time.
At the same time. It's happening at the same time. Let's open our time frame of mind, that cause and effect sometimes, like in this case, happen at the same time. The tripod needs to be standing, all of them at the same time, supporting one another.
Yes. Actually, this is a good place to explain a little bit about the timing, because later on in the Patana, then we will see that there are conditions, some conditions, like as we usually imagine, like cause arise first, then effect come later, But now here we see cause and effect arise together. The phasa and Vedana. Phasa is the cause, Vedana is the effect, but they arise at the same time, together in the same citta. And also, sometimes there's something arise later, which are the cause for something that arise before, that we will see later, Okay, so actually we have explored that already before, but we will go to there in the next coming sessions.
Yes.
Okay, so in the same way, we have a Vedana born of eye contact, and we understand that we also have Vedana born of ear contact, in the same way. So phasa, meaning the contact here with the ear consciousness and the Vedana, Vedana born of ear consciousness.
Every sense with the respective object.
So here we understand that there is another type or another classification of Vedana, in this case 6 types of Vedana. Before, usually how we classify the Vedana to be dukkha, sukha, domanassa, somanassa, and upekkha, But here it is classified according to the senses. Chakku samuppada Vedana, Sota samuppada Vedana,
sound,
Gana samuppada Vedana,
smell,
Jiva samuppada Vedana,
taste, sensation born of contact with the tongue,
Kaya samuppada Vedana,
body,
and Mano samuppada Vedana. Okay, so that's the Vedana that we are talking about. Okay, so now we go to next link, which is very easy to understand. Vedana paccaya tanha. So because of these pleasant or unpleasant sensations, then what
craving
happens?
Arise.
Craving arise, Yeah, because when there is pleasant sensations, we want more of it. When there are unpleasant sensations, or unpleasant actually mental feeling,
then we want something else. So there is wanting in both cases. I want more of this, or I don't want this. I want something else. So anything. That's why at the beginning, when the Buddha mentioned, because of desire and ignorance, the whole mass of suffering arises. Yes, it's because of this wanting. He didn't say because we desire and get angry with reality. He only said desire. Why? Because when pleasant, we want more, and when unpleasant, we want that thing to disappear. We want to destroy it or move away or something else. So it's wanting, wanting, wanting in any situation. If the sensation is pleasurable, in an untrained mind, there is desire arising generally. If there is unpleasant sensation, we want to move away. We want it to disappear.
Okay, so in this link, we already see Vedana. Vedana, 6 types of Vedana come through the eye, ear, nose, or the mind, the 6 senses. And then now let's see Tanha, no? Like what the definition of Tanha.
Wow, we passed this link very quickly. Everybody okay? It was nice, no easy. We have seen many times. We know it very well into experience. Yes, next one.
So because there is mental feeling, there is conditioned arises. So loba, tanha is actually a synonym term of loba. No, in ultimate reality, it's just only loba cettasika.
Loba cettasika.
And in chapter 7, we have also seen that tanha, there are different kinds. We have kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. No, just as a refreshing of memory, kama tanha is craving for sense pleasure, of sense desire.
Yeah.
And bhava tanha is the craving accompanied by the wrong view that everything is permanent.
It's gonna be eternal.
Forever.
I will live
forever, and these things that I like also is forever.
It's forever.
Eternalistic view, no? And vibhava tanha is the craving accompanied by the wrong view of annihilation. In this case, this craving is accompanied with the idea of after this life, everything is gone and it's finished, and that's it. There's nothing more. No. So these 3 types of tanha that we have seen, actually 2 of them are ditthi also involved. No. So we can understand here the tanha to be both loba and ditthi. Yes. Okay. So now here we'll go into something a little bit interesting. Maybe you have heard about 108 type of tanhas, or maybe you haven't, but maybe later in some kind of readings that you might encounter that there are, sometimes it says that there are 108 types of tanha, 108 types of craving. So for your information, let's go and see how come there are so many, like what are they? What are those 108 types of tanha, no? Okay, so just for your information, so 6 kind of tanha according to 6 objects. That's easy to understand. For example, we have rupa tanha, so craving for visible object. In this case, 1 type, craving for different kinds of sound, then craving for smell, craving for taste, craving for
pleasant
touch,
physical sensations,
and craving for Dhamma and Dhamma tanha. But here we have to be careful that this Dhamma does not mean the teaching. It's just phenomena. It's just phenomena.
The mind likes to think, isn't it?
And so the 6 types of Dhamma object, actually, we have also seen previously. Let's remind ourselves of what are these Dhamma object, no? Object of the mind. Yes, we have object of the eye, visible object of the ear, etc. So the 6 kinds of Dhamma object previously we have seen what can be taken by the mind as object. It can be the sensitive matter, pasada rupa itself, can be the 16 subtle matter, it can be chitta, can be cettasika, can be nibbana, and can be concept as well. So all of these things can be taken by the mind. But now, since we are talking about tanha, about craving, so nibbana is out of reach of loba. No? Right. So here we don't take
in
loba.
Concept, we wish to reach nibbana as a concept over there, but real nibbana cannot be accessed by desire because it's free from it. It cannot hold it. That's why so fortunate to have an object in the universe that is free.
So therefore, we do not include in the Dhamma object, although it is everything is here, but we don't include Nibbana in this case because we're talking about craving. Yes.
If you wish to take a photo, there is a good chart, this one, to see all the 6 kind of Dhamma objects or phenomena, not as the teaching of the Buddha, but as nature,
I will give,
as phenomenon.
I will put back the Nibbana so that we have the complete.
This is the things. Just remember that Nibbana cannot be taken by desire. So these are the things that a human mind can take as an object. Hence, if it is not trained well yet, it's susceptible to develop attachment or desire towards them. Whatever we experience through the senses, subtle matters, the consciousnesses, the ingredients of the conscience, and one of our favorite ones, the ones that we live constantly, is concepts. The mind really like to think about concepts.
Yes, okay. So as we see that here, if these are the objects that the mind can take and can lower can arise to them, so here we can see that basically everything is included, all objects besides Nibbana. No?
Yes. Whatever the mind can touch, it can develop desire towards. This is, you remember we have said that many times before, whatever the mind can touch can get desire about. Yes,
except Nibbana.
Except Nibbana, yeah.
Yes. So here 6 types of objects includes all objects. Yes. So 6 types of craving already here. Now these 6 types of craving can each one be kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. How is that so? Now we will take a look now. So rupa tanha can become, we can take it in a sense way, or we can take it with wrong view as well of bhava tanha or vibhava tanha. Now we will see an example of how these 6 can be in each category of this. So taking rupa tanha as an example, for example, we see a very beautiful view.
Desire to see beautiful things.
Yes. So this attachment, this tanha, arise by way of enjoying the senses. Yes. When we are looking something very
When we
nice.
say, wow, so beautiful sunset, look at it, how beautiful.
So this attachment here in this case is called kama rupa tanha. Because rupa is visible object, no? So the craving for visible object in the way of sense enjoyment. So kama rupa tanha is one type. Now, how could it be in another way? So if we are looking at the same view, and then we think the attachment arise accompanied by wrong view, that the one that is looking, I am also permanent, and this thing that I'm looking also permanent. So with this idea, in this case, then it would be bhava rupa tanha.
With the same object, the same individual, but with the wrong view of it, it will be eternal. It will not change, which actually does not match with nature. It will change. We will change, and the sunset will come and go many, many times. It is nothing wrong with seeing beautiful. The problem is when we get attached to it. I wish it never changed.
Or tomorrow I'll come see again.
Tomorrow I come see again, and then, today is cloudy. Why I cannot see the sunset? Now already starting to make a trouble.
So in this way, it can be bhava tanha as well. Then if this attachment again is accompanied by the wrong view that everything is annihilated at that, so when I die, there is nothing anymore, and also these things is no more, there is nothing existing
when
anymore.
I die, the other ones will also never see the sunset anymore. It's finished. The whole world will be finished.
End of the life.
Crazy.
So it could be vibhava rupa tanha in this case. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is how the 6 senses, the 6 types, can be multiplied by 3 in the sense of kama, in the sense of enjoying as a sense desire, sense pleasure, or enjoying attachment accompanied by the idea that things are permanent,
bhava tanha,
or with the enjoyment attachment with the idea that everything is going to
disappear when we die.
So in this way, now we get 18 types of tanha. Yes, so we have to arrive to 108. Yes,
what to do?
There's a little bit more. Okay, so let's see. Now these 6 types. With these 3 types, now we have 18.
We have 18
and
times.
it happens that these 18 types can also sometimes be internal and sometimes be external. How is that so? Now let's take again Rupa Tanha as an example. Sometimes when we see when we see in the mirror and we think that, oh, I look so nice.
How
I am so beautiful.
I am.
No? So in this case, then we are looking at our own Rupa, no? Our own sense, and we think this is so nice. So this visible object is internal.
How cute.
Yes, so this Rupa Tanha is called internal in this case. And sometimes we look at somebody else and was, oh, he is so handsome.
How handsome.
Yes, so this Rupa Tanha is external in this case. So it can be internal, external in this way.
Internal meaning from or of ourselves.
If
we can say something mine internally and something that is regarding to others.
Others or even material things, no, it can be.
Yeah, how beautiful this, how beautiful that, I wish I have it, or something like that. So that desire that arose because of seeing something, it is what is called the Rupa Tanha.
Yeah.
From an internal object, meaning ourselves, or external visual object.
Yes, so I think we understand internal and external, but just for fun, we take one more example. Sada Tanha, like sound. No? So how is it external? When we go to a concert, we think, wow, he sings so nice, or wow, we are attached to the sound of external sound, like the music or the
he sings so
like
nice.
That. Or sometimes we can also be attached to our own sound, like I sing so nice.
Wow, I sing beautiful, definitely. I have to tell you, I sing very beautiful.
To our own voice also, not possible. So this is how it is, internal or external.
I think this guy is singing O Sole Mio. It looks like something on that direction.
Okay, so in this case, these 18 types of tanha, multiplied by 2, sometimes internal and sometimes external, we get 36 tanha here. Okay, so now this 36 tanha can also be further divided into the past, the present, and the future. And how is that so? Let's take a look again with an example of Rupa Tanha.
Oh, this is gonna be a little bit
When we get older, we can have attachment to how we used to look.
Wow. Have any of your grandparents tell you how handsome or strong they were when they were young? Or have you listened to yourself? Oh, I was very, very strong and beautiful back then.
Yeah, so in this way, it can be a past visible object that we are attached to.
Or when we look at a photo, oh, look how young I was looking at, something on that direction.
Yes, so in this case, past. And sometimes it can be the present, something that we are looking at
right
the moment,
now.
And we have attachment towards what we are looking. Or we can also have attachment towards something that we are anticipating. I'm going to Paris, and that view that I'm going to look at, I'm attached already to
I'm
it.
sure it's gonna be so beautiful when we arrive there. Already attached to something that hasn't yet arisen. Suddenly the pandemic, the pandemic kicks in, and then the trip got canceled, and dukkha is waiting for it to happen. Anyway, we need to be just conscious about it. Nothing wrong about beauty. Please, my dear family, let's not misunderstand. Nothing wrong about beauty. The problem is the attachment that arises because of it.
Yes. So in this way, these 36 types of tanha come from the 6 senses, the 6 types with the three kinds, ideas, and then external, internal, and
36
past, present, and future.
Times past, present, and future.
In this way, it comes 108 times of tanha.
108 kinds of desire that a human mind can have. And we only spoke about one sense in the examples. But we can take exactly the same listening. I'm going to this concert. I will listening something beautiful. I'm going to buy this perfume. I'm going to smell so nice. Go to this restaurant, to this massage or spa, whatever. It can happen from the past, present, and future, internal, external, with the 3 kinds of desire. desire for the sense, for the impingement itself, or with the two wrong views, accompanied by the two wrong views.
Yes. So these are the 108 types of tanha. So in case you later on in some readings you see, then you understand that how it is 108.
How did we arrive to 108 kinds of desire? And as you can see in the three kinds, we have desire and ignorance. We are DT as a sign of ignorance. We already come to have a smell of the first link. You remember, because of ignorance and desire, moha
is included.
Yeah, ignorance. Yeah, moha is included on there. So both of them are playing the game, the desire and wrong understanding. That later, just keep it on mind.
Yeah, later, probably next week, we will see more details about the bhavacakka, the wheel of life, and then by that time we will see sometimes ignorance leads the way, sometimes desire leads the way. So we will see how
they are couple, they are friends, but sometimes one tell, okay, now you go, you attack, and then the other one, okay, now you go, you do it. Then but they are always together, these two guys. Remember that ignorance always accompanies desire.
Okay, so Vedana Paṭicca tanha.
This is the next one. No, this is this one.
This is the conclusion of
the conclusion of this one. Yes.
So because of the feeling as conditioned craving, these 108 types of craving can arise. No. So now we will see a little bit more of the tanha and the next link, but I think we will take a little.
Let's consider, because we have 20 minutes to finish. And I think it will be good to touch base, because a lot of information has come through. And just as a focus for all of us to be the situation, do you see, my dear family, how detailed and delicate the Buddha come to explore our human experience? It is us. How we born, how we get developed as we were little babies, how we have contact with the world, and now we are in what kind of reactions or negative reactions we have towards what we experience. Actually, the Buddha is just describing life with a very specific, giving all the ingredients that are very detailed explanation of the mental relation it has towards the things we experience, how the mind reacts. And later on in the next chapter, in the next links, we will see what happens once the mind is holding the objects and developing desire. What is the consequence, or not the consequence, but the effect of all of that? So just as a reminder, it is us. Paṭicca-samuppada describing us with a very precise detail. The Buddha was very skillful in explaining all the details.
Yes, so thank you so much, Bhante, for reminding us about bringing all the information that we have listened to our own experience.
How does it feel here? We are
inside the wheel of
in life, just existence. We are here. Yes, so I think we have 20 minutes.
So it depends on everybody.
How do you feel?
Want to say something, or we continue, or we stop here?
Continue.
That means to continue and to finish that with what we are working with.
Okay, good.
Yes,
how is it going? Let us know, please. We need Diego, please.
Yes, continue. It's okay if it's enough time to finish this last part.
Okay, so next link, tanha paccaya upadana. Because there is craving as condition, then grasping arise. So here, upadana, as we have seen previously in chapter 7, upadana, clinging or grasping, being described with the example, just like a snake getting hold of a mouse, then once it gets hold of it, that it will never let go of it. No, it will not let go. So it is holding very strongly towards it. And in the 4 types of upadana that we have seen in chapter 7, just as a reminder, there are 4 things, 4 kinds of clinging or grasping. Clinging
attachment,
to the sense desire, clinging to wrong view, and clinging to wrong practice, and the clinging of the opinion of a self, opinion of the atta, of self. So in Pali,
I exist.
Yeah, in Pali, Kammupadana, Ditupadana, Silabatupadana, and Atawadupadana.
I mean, we exist, but thinking about the Atta, I had a soul or an entity that does not change. It just moves from place to place, when actually it's just arising and passing away, the natural process. Yes.
Yes. So you see how chapter 7 is important.
Very useful.
Chapter 7 and all the other information that we have seen in the previous chapters, and we have to make use of them here to understand what exactly the Buddha mean by one word. No.
My dear family, now please imagine how a Buddhism student tries to understand Paṭicca-samuppada without knowing Abhidhamma, without knowing the previous chapters. How do we understand Citta, Cetasika, Patisandhi, and all these happenings that we're speaking? We can talk about all of this because we saw all the 7 chapters, previous 7 chapters. You see how important it is, and that's why so much confusion arises when people tries to address this deep teaching without having understanding of the elements. It will take much longer and more difficult. So,
or maybe
easily misunderstand any of the links. So we are very, very fortunate to be able to explore it in detail.
Okay, so let's go on. Upadana in ultimate realities, although there are 4 types, and as we saw in chapter 7, it's actually only loba and DT, no? So again, same as loba, no? Upadana and loba. So you see, tanha paccaya upadanam. So this tanha is also loba and DT. Upadana also tanha and DT. So what is the difference here? No? So let's take a look.
These 2 guys making trouble again.
Tanha paccaya upadana, because there is craving as condition, grasping arise. So this tanha actually is in ultimate reality also loba, but it's a weak loba. And upadana is a much stronger loba. So when this loba keeps growing, then tanha becomes upadana. It becomes stronger. So
how can we get attached to something we don't desire? Impossible. We first like it, desire it, then once we have it, we get attached. We want more of it.
Yes. So sometimes also teachers explain that this loba, weak loba, which is called tanha in this case, would be something that, like, before obtaining something, then we're longing for something, we want something. So that kind of feeling, like we want it, but we don't have it yet.
We
so
search, we will look for it. We will look for it.
Then this upadana is once we already get it. After
already
obtaining it, we get it. Once we get hold of it, then we won't let it go. So we are now holding on and grasping.
Here is when the word mine arises. This is mine. Already here, my possession, my control. I don't want to give it up. Already in the realm of strong loba, attachment. Is beyond desire. It is desire in a heightened form.
Degree.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's upadana and tanha, and let's see a little bit the opposite of it. So just to make a contrast, the opposite of tanha is actually the fewness of wants. So we don't want too much of
simplicity of mind.
We don't want too much. So that is opposite of tanha.
Satisfaction, to be satisfied. It's enough. It's enough. Fine. I'm fine. My family is fine.
Yes, that is actually the opposite of upadana, contentment. Yes. So they are linked together, no? Like if you don't want that, you don't have a lot of desire, don't have a lot of wants and wishes, then that is the opposite of tanha. Then if one is being content and satisfied with what already one have, that is the opposite of upadana.
The mental space that is generated out of simplicity, this contentment, I'm fine, I'm healthy, my family is healthy. What else do we need? That doesn't mean passivity towards life and searching for better conditions. That doesn't mean, but to be satisfied on the way without generating negativity and more suffering because of this attachment. And we can see people who may have more than enough, as long as desire and attachment is there, they continue poor, or we continue poor in the mind, still looking, although we have more than enough already. So the only one that will make the difference will be wisdom, the understanding, and gratitude will be very helpful to arise to this contentment state.
Yes. Okay. So Tanha paccaya upadanam, because there is craving as condition, grasping arise. So as Bhante said already, we must have a weak lobha in order for a strong lobha to arise. No? So that's why actually the weaker lobha is the condition for a stronger lobha to arise in this case. Yes. So that is Tanha paccaya upadanam. So we finish this link. Everybody okay?
Very important link.
Yes.
The exit from samsara is between these three links, actually, between Vedana, Tanha, and Upadana. Well, Upadana is a little bit late already, but between Vedana and Tanha, if we are able to have mindfulness at that moment, and even we experience beauty or unpleasantness in the world, we keep our mind balance free from ignorance and desire, we are walking already towards the exit. And eventually the mind can be freed from all this blind cycle of trying to get, born, die, and death, born, die, and born and die, and etc., etc. Samsara can be stopped. The process of suffering can go out. Yeah, it will not stop. Some other beings will continue living in samsara, but for us, we can exit it.
Okay, so let's go to the next link. Upadana paccaya bhavo. Because there is grasping as condition, becoming arise. So this link is not difficult, because last time actually in the general explanation we have already talked about it, that this bhava means two things, kama bhava and upapati bhava. So kama bhava means actually kama, no, the doing actions, the becoming of karma. So because we grasp to life, or we grasp to our ideas, so lobha and ditthi, because of that, then we do all kinds of actions because we think this way, or we think this is good, or so we do good action or bad actions, whatever it may be, because of we hold on to our idea and we hold on to existence. No, so in this case, this is kama bhava, and because there is kama bhava, also upapati bhava happens as the result. We born again, the becoming of the five aggregates. No?
Because of our past actions, we born this time. Because of our present actions, we will born again if we don't get enlightened.
Yes. So because of grasping, because we have this idea, we have this tanha and grasping, then we do things, and because we do things, then result again happens.
Yes.
So in this link, this bhava, we have to take both kama bhava and upapati bhava, both. So because of this, then all this is being generated.
Yes.
No? Okay, so this link is also finished. Then we go to bhava paccaya jati. So here, jati and upapati bhava is actually the same. So this becoming here in this link, we should only take kama bhava, because upapati bhava, meaning the becoming of the five aggregates, is actually birth, no? Just born. So here is duplicated because of it's talking about a different life. And so we have to understand in this way. Later we will go into the details. So here we only take actions because we plant seeds, then result will happen. No, in the very beginning, last week also Bhante mentioned sankhara, avijja paccaya sankhara, that action, that sankhara there bring us to this life. So those sankhara belong to the last life, no? So then we because we are born, then we have the five aggregates, we have feeling, we have contact, and we have Vedana and all these things. Then because of this feeling, we like it, then we act on it with lobha, with tanha, then again we plant seeds.
We plant more seeds.
So that's the bhava, here we plant seeds. So because we plant seeds again, so result is bound to happen next life.
When we die, there will be, again, the energy is still there, the conditions for life are there, then another birth.
Yes, so we are now here, we are talking about the present causes, tanha, we are doing a lot of present cause for a future existence to arise again.
You remember when we saw the Dhamma chakra, the graph we told you last week, it has actually different dimensions, different layers. This is what the Buddha is pointing out. Actually, it's not just, he's explaining how one life works, but that also how three lives work.
And all samsara.
The previous life, the present life, and the future life. Now, now we already explored in the beginning of this class how from the past life we came to this one. Now we are looking at the same time with the same functioning and mental and physical and verbal actions, we are making the conditions for the next one. The process is actually the same, but it's talking about 3 lives at this moment. Past, present, and future, and the whole samsara can be rolling with these 3 possibilities.
Yeah, next week we will go into more details with the help of the graphic, the wheel that we have seen. So we will use that.
My dear family, when we start exploring next week the graph, you will see how many things. This is how it happens, because we can see it at one after the other, this one. But it's very important to know what each of them means.
Yes. Okay. So here it's also easy to understand. Jati means the birth. So what is birth? Meaning, again, we have 5 aggregates. No.
Yes.
Again, we have nama and rupa, chitta, chittasika, and rupa. No. Again.
And then the salayatana, the senses, and now contact. It will go again. But because of we born, now the Buddha comes to say the end of this life or any life. Because of jati paccaya jara maranam, because there is birth as a condition. Whatever gets born, sooner or later gets old and then passes away. It's just the law of nature. Everything in the universe happened that. So this is very simple to understand.
Yes. So as we said also last week, jati paccaya jara maranam, this is applied to every being. So whatever being is born is bound to die. But there is also some other thing that is mentioned here.
Soka paridewa dukkha domanassa upayasa.
So this
upayasa means arise.
No. Upayasa is the despair. So
sorry. Sambhavanti is the last word. Yeah.
Yes. So because there is birth as condition, surely old age and death, and sometimes for some beings in different degrees, there will also be sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental pain, and despair. Actually, upayasa.
Yes.
This word in Pali, it means like burning, like the burning of the mind. So it is translated in English as despair. But the example given by the teachers is like they said, like let's say if you boil some oil in a fry pan, and then you boil it for so long, like all the oil is all burnt,
consumed,
like all burnt, like that kind of burning is called upayasa in this case. So that kind of unpleasant mental despair, like that.
As we mentioned, happiness and pleasurable experiences also happen in life, but these are liable to happen. It is there's possibility because we born, people can experience loss, sickness, or mental and physical pain. That's part of nature as well, and loss and some sorrow or sadness because things didn't go according to how we wish. So that can happen in the world.
Yes.
Dukkha exists. This is talking about the first noble truth.
Yes. So these are because we have birth, as Bhante said, we can experience this kind of feelings or I mean this kind of situations or experience can arise. Not for everybody, therefore it is separated in another sense.
In a very short answer, if somebody asks, why do I suffer? Well, because you're born in a realm where suffering exists. Simple. Why do I suffer? Because you're born. And suffering, physical pain and sickness existing in this realm exists. So that's why.
Yes.
Now the next question is, why did I born? Then we start with Paṭicca-samuppada, and the question that the Buddha fortunately had the vision and the wisdom to solve the old age questions. Why did we born? Why do we die, by the way? Why do we have to die? Well, Paṭicca-samuppada, this is why.
Okay, so now we have seen all the links, and in this avijja paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vijnana, vijnana paccaya namarupa, like this, and then at the end it says evam me tassa kevalassa dukkha khandassa samudayo hoti. So there is this arising of the whole mass of suffering in this case. So of course the Buddha does not mean that in this case, the whole mass of suffering, meaning that actually, of course, there is happiness, as we said in life also, but it is not free from dukkha because they arise and pass away.
Even happiness will pass away.
So
Sooner or later.
therefore, this happiness is also included in the mass, the whole mass of this life or lives that we call, no? So that is how the whole mass continue to exist.
So the point is, if there is suffering in the world, do we see how valuable love, empathy, wisdom,
Kusala.
generosity is? There is suffering already in this world, and to apply ourselves to cultivate the good, to bring the light and into dark space of darkness, or in the state of the world, how valuable it is if we apply ourselves to cultivate sila, to cultivate samadhi and wisdom out of it. The more darkness there is in the world, the more valuable the light is. So that's why we can rest and be happy about our just trying to cultivate the goodness, the light.
Okay, so now we have finished the anuloma order, the order of arising. No? So how it arises, how the whole thing from ignorance, and then it comes to the end of 12 links. That is called the anuloma, the order of arising.
From the beginning to the end, that is anuloma.
Then we have also something that is called patiloma, which is the order of cessation, meaning when avijja totally cease, then there will be no more sankhara. Sankhara will cease, and like that, etc. We will go to that later. And then because we have already seen a general view and actually a little bit more details of each of the links already. So next week we are going to look at this chart, the Bhavacaka, and see the different layers, which is like, let's say, the past, and then how they are relate to each other, and like that. So we will use this chart for next week for a little bit more details. And then as Bhante said, with this information, together with next week's information, we will have a quite good general view of the Paṭicca-samuppada.
Yes, very good, my dear family. Very happy to be doing this together. We appreciate all our common effort. We know it takes what, but we will go slowly. I will encourage you to take a photo of this graph.
I will send
we better send better quality.
Later, after we explain, we will send.
So you can start taking a look. What is this? What is that? How it is connected? Just getting acquainted with it. So next week, when we start exploring, it will be more familiar. Yes.
Okay.
Questions? Something we finished today.
Yes,
well, it was a good rhythm finally.
Yeah, we finished the whole 12 links in a little bit more detail.
Yes, middle size detail. Finished. So, my dear family, questions by now. How are you? How is information arriving? It will be very helpful for us to know. Really, I have to be honest. Even to share this is quite challenging for us. So the more feedback you give us will help us to know where we need to arrange more things, on how much is enough or still. So we would like to hear if you have some question. Let's start with it.
First of all, thank you, because this answers like the deepest questions of life, right? Maybe since I was already 14, I was asking this to myself and nothing makes sense. And now it's like, oh.
Very good. Yes. Paña time.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's not easy to chew this bone. To be honest, it doesn't get like through me totally, but it's amazing to get to know the process and how we can do something to get out of it. And it's amazing, and it's great to see and start recognizing where maybe each one of us is weaker, or maybe it's like, oh, well, I'm not that bad in that area, I'm going in a good way or so. So that's what I get from this class, and thank you, because this is huge, and it's not easy, as you just said, Bhante, to pass it through. So thank you for your patience, because it's been more than a year to get us to this point, and just really thank you deeply.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for your patience, because to arrive to
effort.
this point, yes, it is necessary. Actually, like our teacher says, that your patience and your perseverance is the main factor for arriving to here.
Yes.
So, yes, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
It's not a question, it's just thanking you for how amazing it is your job at something that it's really so deep, and the way it was presented to you, how you managed to put it in a so accessible and friendly way. It's just an amazing privilege.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also, while I am learning this, it's amazing for me that it kind of seems like obvious once you are explaining it, like, yes, of course, that because of this happens. But at the same time, without you telling us that, I think I might not arrive to that conclusion, even though once that's been taught to me, it becomes like obvious. Yes, of course, this is the way it is.
Yes, thanks to the Buddha discovering.
That's the mastery of the Buddha, to bring something, the essence of existence, in such a simple way. Of course it's me. Of course I have ears and eyes, and that's why I think, and that's why Very nice. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for your comment, Diego, because it's really encouraging that to know that these graphics and things is helpful for understanding. Because to be honest, it's actually a pain, really, to make all these graphics and things. So it takes long hours and thinking and all these things. And even during presentation, maybe this is a mistake, I should put it here or there. So it's never ending a little bit, but with this comment that it is helpful, then it is a great encouragement, inspiring to continue with.
Both of you. I mean, I wish you in the 4 minutes or more minutes that we had of recess, we were to how to do this thing. That's trying to put things together. How deep down the rabbit hole do we wish to go? But anyway, listening this, it's satisfying. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Somebody else, my dear family, how is the information arriving?
Once more, thank you very much for all the knowledge and the information that you are sharing with us. And I really like it. That why is suffering? Because you're born in this realm. That's a wonderful answer. That's a very wonderful answer. And of course, it is also a key that you better do good. You better do the best of yourself in order to plant seeds of goodness for yourself and other people. That's a great message. I mean, that's simple, but it's so truly, so deep, so I see motivating. So I really like it to say, well, you're born in this realm, you better stop falling into the temptation of more lobha and more moha and more ignorance. So you better try to do the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guillermo.
Yes, thank you, Guillermo. I think now this sentence that you just said, it sounds so simple, but for you to say this line, I can see all the knowledge that you have behind it in order to be able to say these lines. So to understand how and why we suffer because we are born. It can sound very simple, but the understanding behind it, it takes all these 2 years of exploration of the Abhidhamma to understand how it is. So even it's just like funny and simple, but the understanding behind it is deep. So,
and more to come. We haven't finished the chapter. You will see how interesting it becomes once Patana comes in, and then later on how to apply. Yes, we are.
Yes, and the doing good also, no? Seems like everybody can say, oh yes, we should do good. Why not? I mean, do good is good, but the understanding of how good it is and what are the results and how to come out of this samsara, this understanding, it's much deeper.
What other options do we have? So much negativity in the world. We better devote ourselves towards bringing light inside, and hopefully it supports our family and people around.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really happy to like all the time, in order to come to simple conclusions, we must go through let's say complicated understanding, let's say, to come to simple conclusion, like the Chinese saying of the mountain is the mountains. And you remember we talked about this before. The Chinese saying that any person can say the mountain is a mountain, the lake is the lake. Then later on, when he know more and study, the mountain is not the mountain, or the lake is not the lake. Then at the end, he comes back to the simple conclusion. Yes,
the mountain is mountain, but the degree different. Yeah, like EMC squared. We see so simply, but it took so much thinking to arrive to that thing. So yes, my dear family,
thank you so much. I'm so glad.
And I have to share something. Now I look at the smile of Charana, and that brings me a lot of happiness, because I have seen from her side, she's the one that has been preparing most of the graphic material we discuss and share. But now seeing her satisfaction, oh, and for me, it's mudita in all directions. Thank you. Yeah. We will go through, my dear family. We are just honest. We're coming to the end, and yes, as you can imagine, it is challenging, but we will go through. And thank you for everybody. Let us know in any case if something is not clear. We go detail by detail, and we continue, my dear family. If that is so, we close. May the merits of our efforts, common efforts, staying here on Sunday night, applying ourselves with interest to understand reality, may that give many the best fruits of liberation, well-being, wisdom, and love. May it be translated into service to others. May our family be benefited by our efforts, even though we don't share the Dhamma with them, but may it translate in our attitude towards life and our understanding, and provide them with peace and a presence that is of quality. May not just our family, but all beings be benefited by the Buddha's teaching. We are already being benefited 2,500 years later. Look how much benefit it has, and it will bring for many. May this be so. Thank you very much for everyone. Let's rejoice in our good actions. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhitiyo biwajantu sokorogo winyasatu mate bawat wantarayo sukidikayuko bawang Abhiwadana silisa nichamuta pachayino Chataro dhamma vadanti ayuvano sukhambalam Bhavatu sabha mangalam rakantu sabha devata Sabha buddhanu dhammanu sanganu bhavenam sabha sukhi bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sabha sukhi bhavantu te. May all the happiness and blessings accompany us. All of us, our families, and all things. My dear family, big hugs. Have a good night. We love you. Let's keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day. Have a good day. Good night.
Thank you. Hugs, hugs, hugs.